Who are you? Potential. And it's up to you to decide right now, as long as you have in this lifetime, this body, this vehicle, in a way, it is up to your decision. How would you like to channel your potential based on the body, based on the vehicle that has been granted and gifted to you right now in this lifetime? And this is then, again, how for me, I said, it's precious. Our bodies are precious, regardless of what meanwhile in all the world is going around, that we're all energy, yes, no doubt about it. Okay, but I still have the body. At the moment, this is what I have, this is what carries me along the road. And because I think there's a very, very close relationship between the health of mind and the health of body. That's why in this, let's say, approach, what I'm trying to share since many years, the message is take good care of your body, because this is your entrance into all the possibilities that this lifetime can offer to you. No, you can dream of climbing the Mount Everest. Dreaming is the mind. Experiencing is when the mind merges together with the body who is starting to walk up that hill, experiencing it. Not just dreaming about it, thinking about it, visualizing. No, experiencing. And experience, I think this is a question of matter. It's a question of how capable is your body. I see patterns, things that always continue again and again and again, where maybe the ingredients maybe look different. The ingredients, so let's say the setup looks on the outside, on the surface, it looks different. But if you strip it down to the core of what actually is happening there, there's a pattern underlying it. Just simple, for example, my parents came as refugees from Vietnam, Laos to Europe in 1979. And I try to make it short. If somebody has to leave his home country, go to a foreign country. Why? Because there was no perspective in the home country. At the same time, my mother was pregnant with my brother at that time. So the whole idea of why to move to another country, it's about perspective, about security. And this security and perspective for my parents was education. So that means there was always a very, very high pressure for my brother. I have one older brother, about learn, develop yourself. So there was a determined path, what to do, how to spend your time. But if I look at it right now, it's always like this. You find yourself in kindergarten. And then comes the time where you need to go to elementary school. Okay? Then you need to pass tests. If you don't pass the test, you will not pass the next grade. Then you go to gymnasium or to high school. Again, there's something about grading. There's something about achievement. You just finished your high school. You go to university. Again, it continues that it's not enough who you are. It's not enough what you can do right now. At the moment, it's all about spending your time to attain something more, because it feels like, because you're incomplete. Apparently, the system is telling you you're incomplete the way as you are. So first of all, go to school, go to university. 1 university degree is not enough. 2, meanwhile. 2, maybe not even now. A PhD would even be better. So what is embedded in this whole line is always subconsciously, maybe, to some person it's going to get deeper, to other people they realize it, is that structure and the pattern of you are never enough of where you are. There is always something more. So this pattern now, I just look, for example, for me, when it comes to whatever it is, like There was a time we had no mobile phones. It came out, of course, there was time we wanted to have it. We did everything, we went to work, we earned the money, you got it. You got it, it didn't last. You looked for the next thing for achieving. You look for the next trophy to get again. You got the trophy, not enough. It's going to collect dust, you need the next one. So there I see there is a pattern. Okay, in the pattern of how to spend your lifetime running after achievements and running after trophies that at the end of the day going to collect dust. You're going to not take them with you wherever you're going to go when you pass away. So very quickly for me, I said, it's maybe part of how you can spend your lifetime. It's not fulfilling. It's not fulfilling. And this is the moment where then maybe some people talk about spirituality, other people talk about a higher sense, a purpose. This is where then it came to me, where I started asking myself questions. What is it essentially I would like to do with this lifetime that has been given to me? And one thing, like very practical wise, is the reason why I'm very happy for this invitation. Because one of the things I realized for myself is to wake up and invest some part of your lifetime in order to generate something that brings benefit beyond yourself. That is something that gives me purpose. I like to wake up knowing this is what I'm going to do today. I'm grateful this evening, going to bed, knowing of having had this opportunity, talking with you and sharing out the thoughts where I think people don't need to copy my life. But of everything that we are talking about, everything I'm trying to share as good as I can, just think about it if you can resonate with it. If there's something you see inside your own life, what I just explained about the patterns, if you see it in your own life, rethink it. What could be the relevance of this understanding now? How do you put this into practice? And this is like also like a next point where, where this word practice comes also into play, because it's not about knowing. It's not about knowing there are patterns. It's not about knowing this is good, this is bad. It's about, you know it, what you're going to do with it. What is your human expression with the knowledge that you have just attained in this lifetime? Everybody knows smoking too much is not good. What you going to do with it? And this is where this practice comes in. Because it's hard. We need to practice. We cannot, because you cannot just like jump in the ocean and then start swimming. If you've never done it before, it's going to happen. You're just going to drown. So what you're going to do, step by step, train, practice, grow in confidence, grow in skill. And what's the advantage of it? A big threat is being taken off from your life. A big threat of just like going in the ocean and drowning. Instead of drowning even, you will start to realize how nice it probably even is. Simply be in the wide, wide ocean, free. There's something special about it, but only if you have the skill. Without skill, it's like deadly. See? So that means it's not the ocean that is the danger. The danger is that you are putting yourself in situations into life without proper skills. And this is where now I start to try to build that bridge a little bit, where I told you before, where this kung fu training, this fighting training comes in. Because you see, for example, basic, do 100 push-ups. If you don't train them, you can't do it. There's no way. So the idea is, come, let's do 10 today. Let's do 15 tomorrow. Next week, we're going to be already at 25. In 4 weeks' time, you will have the 100. And somebody can say, I can do the 100. Okay, stop talking, do it. Show me. So about the martial arts, there is something real about it. Politics doesn't matter how good you can talk. Matters is how much real energy, real effort, real discipline have you put into your daily life in order to get to those 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups. And this is the whole idea about what is it? Skill. You don't get skill as a present in this lifetime. You might get a talent, you might have a gift coming to this world, maybe from your parents, maybe from another source. You are gifted with something. But if you don't cultivate that gift on a regular basis, even that gift will just dissolve. And therefore, skill means there is some continuity to it, and there is the conscious investment of going through hardship. Because why can't you do the 100? Because you have never forced yourself pushing through your limits. When your muscles started hurting, you already stopped. Yeah, that's why you go to the point where it's burning, you get used to the burning, and next day you continue. So there's something about hitting the limit and step by step overcoming it. You know, so and this is where like this relation for me from the physical martial art practice, taking it back to how to build a proper, purposeful, fulfilling lifetime. I think it is very much related upon skill. How skillful are you walking through this lifetime? And the more skillful you are, the more beautiful, the more easy, the more playful, the more enjoyable you can walk through it. This is like the whole analogy, how I can maybe express it. Structure, training, introverted. Now, so just before I mentioned, if you want to go deep in something, I think time is necessary. Time is necessary in how much you're spending with something, but at the same time, it's also your ability to observe. And why I mentioned, for example, like introverted now. It's just like when in the past, in school time, you know, the break bell was ringing, everybody went out to the break space. I was never the one spending that break time talking, you know, like chatting around or anything like this. I somehow just prefer to like, okay, maybe stand around inside the group with the others as well, but okay, listen. So like just observing, okay, what is it that people talk about? What is it that's interesting for them? So I had many, many internal conversations always. At the same time, in the martial art practice, normally also there's never talking inside when the class starts. It's about you've been shown a movement, you've been shown something to practice. Go ahead, go into your corner, practice. And so that means very often talking was not part of my life. Internal questioning was a part of my life. Okay. And this is now also something to like jump back to the previous, to your previous observation about enough. Yeah. Right now, I was very lucky. I have a friend, like I said, he's many years already in Dubai. He likes it so much here that he moved here. So this is one of the reasons why I sometimes go and visit him. And he always like told me already that he liked Atlantis very much. Yes. because it's very, very impressive. And so this time I had the chance also to actually see how it feels over there. And so standing there and then watching at your skyline here in Dubai, I mean, I can definitely imagine these are visions, this is the view many people in this world dream about. There's something about a superlative. It's like how you call it. It's pretty high technological advancement that you have over here. But at the same time, I also witnessed quite a lot, like feeling inside the people. The mind sometimes I feel is not there. They are physically at a very beautiful place. Physically they are there, but the mind seems absent. Because apparently the mind and the body is nothing which naturally is regarded as being together. And this is, I think, also is a result of why? Because sometimes of the system. Because you continuously look and search for something which is not here right now. So what does it mean? It means my body is here, but your mind is looking for something. And if you don't pay attention to this, it can just manifest and express itself in exactly such things. You find yourself actually in a place which is super beautiful, which is offering everything that you need, that you need, but you are not going to recognize it because your mind is a step already again ahead of it. And if this type of pattern, if this type of habit and conditioning you don't realize about yourself, then how I say, I really think you're missing some essential part about living this lifetime, which is about the enjoyment of what you have. But again, so does it mean I should always enjoy just what I have at the moment without ambition? No. Again, balance. Work for things you like to have. Do the work in order to get it. But at the same time, observe yourself at the same time when it comes, when it enters your life. Do you still have the ability to really forget everything else and just enjoy what you have? There's something about balance. Yeah. And these are like thoughts where I think it's really helpful. And especially, it doesn't cost anything. This is the best part about all of these sharings and teachings, that it only depends on your perspective. And so, what is it that essentially, since many years, our mission, my idea is what to spread out. The only thing I do is offering perspective. Everybody already has his or her own perspective. But the more perspective you have, the more possibilities, the more choices you have. At the end of the day, you are the one, it's your life. You decide and you take the consequences. And I'm just saying, if sometimes in this lifetime you feel sometimes it's not proceeding, I'm stuck somehow. Why? Why are you stuck? Because you continuously try to move forward with the old patterns that also haven't worked the last 10 times. It's time for a new perspective. And this is where it comes into play, for example, like also in our culture, the seniors are very highly regarded, the parents, the grandparents. Why is that? Of course, they come from another generation, but doesn't mean that their thoughts are outdated. So it's good. Father, mother, what do you think about this and that? It's not that you have to do it like this, but it helps me also to understand the world from other people's perspective. Then it just widens my horizon. That's what it does. And at the end, I see the situation from this angle, from that angle, from that one, from that one, from that one, from that one. So that means I see many perspectives. This is why I probably see many more solutions, and then at the end, I choose the one which I think is appropriate for what I can do, and also which consequences, and they will come. Every decision will have a consequence. The question is, can you live with it or not? This is also like, is it good or is it bad to do this and that? I don't think about good or bad. Nothing is ultimately good and nothing is ultimately bad. Let's just say, for an example, to get this as an understanding, yeah? Let's take those two fingers. Look, this idea of yin and yang, small and big, high and low. So, those two fingers, if that one right now is considered small and this one is considered big, what I just said before, there is nothing ultimately good, there is nothing ultimately bad. Nothing is ultimately small, nothing is ultimately big, because it depends on relation. In this constellation, that one is the small one, that one is the large one. In this constellation, it just shifted. So it's not right to say that this one is always the big one. It's not true. Only in this constellation it's true. Same now goes for nothing is ultimately good, nothing is ultimately bad. It depends on in which relation to what. So, based on this thinking idea, let's call it like this, it's not useful for me to judge the world by this is good, by this is bad. So therefore, how to take decisions based on consequence. Whatever you do, it's gonna bring out consequences, and you decide if you are able to live. That's it. This is what you base your decision on. Is it good to do this or not? Is it bad to do this or not? I don't know. What's the consequence of this and what's the consequence of that? Which one of these two you prefer to live with in the future?